Welcome students in the class of history. Till now we have studied up to the life of the people of Egyptian civilization. In last class we have covered the source of our knowledge and origin of the Egyptian civilization. We also read about the three periods of the Egyptian civilization and their social classes. Today we will learn about religion and some other topics. So our first topic is religion. Egyptians worship many god and goddess. That means the Egyptians worship many gods and each god was associated with particular aspect of life. Main god was Amun-Re or Ra, the sun god. He was king of all the gods. He was considered to be the source of life. Egyptians also worshipped other forms of nature by different gods. The moon god was Thor, the sky god was Horus. He was in the form of a hawk. The god of mummification was Anubis. He was in the form of Jackal. Each god had a separate temple and a priest, and each city had a special god. The Egyptians believed in life after death. They considered death to be a journey between the present life and the next life. The Egyptians preserved the dead bodies by mummifying them. That means the dead body was covered with medicinal herbs and spices, and the body was wrapped in a fine linen cloth. Such a preserved body called mummies. The mummy was stored in a wooden box surrounded by a stone coffin, and it was buried in a tomb. Things of daily use like food, clothes, jewelry, furniture, etc. were also put in the tomb because the Egyptians believed that the dead person would need them in their next life. The famous pyramid of Egypt are actually the tomb of the king or pharaohs. Now we will read about the occupation of the Egyptian people. Most of the people were farmers. Due to the regular supply of water from the river Nile and big irrigation network, there was a regular supply of water and the soil was very fertile. This meant that the farmer could grow the crops all around the year. Other occupations of Egyptian people were pottery making, weaving, spinning, glass making, carpentry, metalworking, and poultry farming. Some people were also engaged in fishing. The Egyptians had learned to use potter's wheels very well. There were very good carpenters who had made beautiful things of wood. The metal worker used to make articles of metal, such as gold and copper. The workers also carved statues of gods and kings. Now next topic is trade and commerce. Trade has been always a very important part of any civilization, whether at the local or international level. Trade was an important activity in Egyptian civilization. Mode of transport was camels and donkeys. They were used to carry goods over the land. The Egyptians also used boats and small ships to carry goods by water. The river Nile was used to carry goods to far off lands. The Egyptians were skilled in making linen, jewelry, and glass items. These items were sent to other countries from Egypt, and in exchange of these items, the Egyptian brought in goods like gold, ivory, oil, and wood. The barter system was the mode of doing business at that time. Children, barter system means when you exchange the goods you have with the goods you require. Now come to the next topic, major achievement of Egyptian civilization. The Egyptians were very talented builders. They built many temples and pyramids during the Egyptian civilization. They built many pyramids. The largest of them is at a place called Giza. It is called the Great Pyramid. It was built by Pharaoh Cheops, also known as Khufu. The Great Pyramid is one of the 7 wonders of the world. One more the great example of Egyptian skill is the Sphinx. It is a mythological character. It has a head of a man and body of a lion. It is also situated at Giza near the Great Pyramid. It is made out of single block of stone. One more example of excellence in construction of the Egyptian people is the temple at Abu Simbel. It is very famous temple built by Ramses II. The unique feature of this temple is that it is constructed in such a way that twice a year the rays of the rising sun reach the back wall of the inside of the temple. They show the remarkable skills the Egyptians had in the construction. Now come to the topic mathematics. The Egyptians had great knowledge of mathematics. They used fractions and decimal in their calculations. They had knowledge of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. They also had knowledge of geometry. They could calculate the area and volume of figures like cylinder, rectangle, and circle. They used this knowledge of mathematics in the various construction of temples and pyramids. Children, now we will learn about the achievement of Egyptians in the field of medicine. The Egyptians had great knowledge of the human body. In one of the medical books from the Egyptian civilization, there was a detailed description of blood circulation in the human body. During mummification, medicinal herbs was applied to the dead body. Due to this, in spite of being thousands of years old, these dead bodies were well preserved and was not destroyed. This tells us about their great knowledge in the field of medicine. Now come to the next topic, astronomy. The Egyptians had the knowledge about the movement of the heavenly bodies. The Egyptians used to count the starting of the year with the sighting of a star known as Sirius, which happened with the starting of the annual flood in river Nile. They divided the stars in the sky in 12 constellations, which means zodiac. The Egyptians also devised a solar calendar. Students, solar calendar means annual calendar. they noticed that the difference between the two annual floods of Nile was 365 days. They also noticed that the star Sirius appeared in the sky when the floods reached Cairo. The difference between the sighting of the star was also 365 days. The Egyptians came to a conclusion that in 1 year there are 365 days, and today also, as per our calendar, there are 365 days in a year. They divided the year into 12 months and each month had 30 days. They added 5 more days. This is very important, kind children. They added 5 more days in the calendar to celebrate their festival. This tells us that Egyptians were very talented astronomers who could study the movement of stars. Now come to the next topic, that is script. The Egyptian system of writing is called hieroglyphics. This also means sacred writing. This script used picture and symbols instead of words. This script was written from right to left. Children, you can see the picture of script on page number 20. Earlier they wrote on stone walls and clay tablets. In the later Vedic period, the Egyptians began to use paper sheets which were made from papyrus reeds. A pointed reed was used as a pen. The word paper comes from papyrus. Now, next topic is decline of Egyptian civilization. With the collapse of the new kingdom, the Egyptian civilization came to an end. The reason of this decline was there were internal revolt against the king, means Pharaoh, and there were attacks from the other civilizations which made them weak. Egypt was taken over by Assyrians, the Persians, and the Romans. As we can see, the Egyptian civilization was an advanced civilization. They had made great progress in the field of architecture, mathematics, medicine, and astronomy. They had a well-defined social structure and religion. You can also see the Egyptian had a good business which was expanded to the other civilization. We have also learned in this chapter how the Egyptian civilization declined. So children, we have finished the second chapter. In next class, we will discuss question answer. Thank you, students.